Hey, everybody, and welcome back to Radical Research Summit. It's day 3, and we've really been enjoying all the talks so far. And we've got 3 more really great talks for you today. I just wanted to chat a little bit about what we've been liking about the talks. I really like how critically engaged everyone has been, not just like the presenters, but everyone else in the chat and in the Q&A. It's been really good to see that and see people thinking about their responsibility as UX researchers.
Yeah, and I like how these talks are all kind of weaving together. There's a really strong theme that's coming together, and I'm really enjoying that. And really, yesterday, I think what really stuck out for me was the talk from Emily Carr and the College of New Caledonia folks. What an interesting study they conducted, and I think we all took a lot away from that. Really interesting mix of tools and methods that they brought to that research that they were conducting. Loved it.
So I just want to encourage you again to go into the community board, share your thoughts in the chats, get involved in the Q&A. We're using this platform, Whova, so that we can do that with each other. So go on out there and do that.
So a few housekeeping points, and then we can dive right into the talks for today. So we do want all attendees, speakers, sponsors, and volunteers to have a positive experience. RRS is a safe space for all of us. Please be familiar with the code of conduct. It's available in the community section, and should you need any support, you can contact any of the RRS volunteers via the attendee list. And if you have any technical issues, please contact Anushka Agrawal or Adele Kurek.
So once again, we could not put on this conference without the support of our sponsors, and we'd like to thank each of them. Our principal sponsors, Spatial Research and Design, Samsung, and Kontech. Our platform sponsor, EY. Our major sponsors, Antenna Consulting, Article, Course Hero, Designing for People at UBC, Facebook, Habanero, Later, Shopify, and OXD, and our community sponsors, Domain 7 and Goat.
We also recognize that we are hosting this conference from the traditional, ancestral, and unceded territory of the Squamish, Tsleil-Waututh, and Musqueam nations, otherwise known as Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. And Amelia would like to share a little more on this.
Yeah, so we have a post in the community board, in the community section on land acknowledgements. And in there, I've put a link to nativeland.ca. And I would really encourage, like I've been doing every day, to ask people to go in there, find out whose land you're joining us from, and share that with us. It's a really great step towards reconciliation, starting to understand more about your relationship with the land and the people who are there. And yeah, so if you can't find it through nativeland.ca, you can also Google. There's lots of resources, more and more things coming out there. And I know that we have people joining us from all over, so I'd be really interested to see where everyone is joining from. So yeah, that being said, please go and do that. And now I'd like to welcome our principal sponsor, Kontech, and Elaine Ann, who will be giving a short presentation for us. Welcome, Elaine.
Hi, everyone. Okay, let me start the presentation. Oh, okay. Hi, everyone. So thank you, Radical Research and the Spatial team for organizing this event. And Kontech is actually a tech startup that's based in Vancouver. And we help, it's a platform that helps R&D companies with their user recruitment and research in Asia. So just want to give everybody a big picture. Like, if you look at this world map, did you know that inside the circle, there's more people inside of it than outside of it? In this world, there are 7 billion people worldwide, and inside the circle, there's 3.7 billion. And right in the middle of the circle is actually where I'm from. I'm originally from Hong Kong, but I've lived and worked in the US for 12 years before going back for another 20 years, and now I'm here in Vancouver. So yeah, so this is a little bit about my background. So I've been in the US and gone to both sides of the world and came back. And during the past 2 decades, like in Asia, we've been helping a lot of Western tech companies do research and strategy for the Asian market. And you might be wondering, like, why should you care? Because you're not in Asia, right? The thing is, according to the World Economic Forum, like the coming next century, it's gonna, have a lot of, there's growing population in Asia market. So R&D companies, whether you're working with like multinationals or even consultancies, there will be a chance that they might be asking you to help even compare, between different markets. And here's a diagram of how, like in 2030, like the Asia Pacific region, the population is like almost growing like at 66%. Even companies like Google or Facebook, and this is public information, that they're working on like the next billion user projects. Oops. Okay, so in this like circle, like out of the 3.6 billion people, 2.3 billion people are non-English speaking users. And that is actually 10 times of the US population. US has 230 million in population. So during our like 19, 20 years, doing this kind of work in Asia, what we found out was that the trust fabric is very different over there. Like people mainly trust their friends and families. And if there are many methods that stemmed from the West might or might not work over there, for example, like a 15-page NDA, users freak out, or having 15 like screener questions before you build the trust is just very challenging. And of course, it's many different countries and cultures over there that are very different. So there are cultural and language barriers, and also the speed of the market is very fast. Like the product development time frame is like 5 times that of what I've experienced in North America. For example, I think just user research could take 3 months over here, but then the entire product development can be like 3 months in itself. So that's why we're coming up with this platform called Kontech. The reason is, I think in the West, you can find platforms like Respondent.io, usertesting.com very easily, and users sign up. However, we have yet to find a platform that recruits users in Asia, and we often encounter clients asking for that, and it's not very easy to recruit people and even go to their homes, because if there's not a trust network, people won't let you in. And it's very interesting to look at, in terms of culturally, when you look at all the research methodologies that came out, it's probably from the Western world. However, if you look at the upper right-hand corner, there's a lot of countries that are in Asia that is stemmed from a collectivism background. And even like, if you look at the circle in red at the bottom right, these cultures are cultures that avoids confrontation, and they are also like emotionally less expressive. So sometimes like yes means no and no's means yes when you do user research. And even the language, like for example, Chinese characters are much more concise, where this would totally affect your like user interface, where for example, the QQ browser in China is like, 2 rows of icons, like 12 icons, whereas on Google Play, you can only fit 4 because of the length of the language. So, our platform actually would first start, right now it's in alpha phase, and we'll first start helping companies doing user recruitment through our like network, where we leverage technology and also give cultural advice, and slowly we'll build up to the other features. So just a sneak preview. This is our platform, Kontech. And when you get into the platform, you can choose different countries and also different methodologies. And right now, if you go onto our website, www.kontech.asia, you will be able to see a quick quote, because we noticed that many of our previous clients always wants very quick turnaround nowadays. So you can calculate how much it would cost you to recruit users. And of course, this is mainly for very general users like students, housewives, white collar, using mobile phones, for example. And of course, for very, very specific types of users, it'll be a very different situation. Oops. And here is our team. It's primarily women. And so today at 12 o'clock, we'll have a digital booth, and we welcome you to come join us and talk about, we're doing user research on user researchers who have needs in Asia. And we also welcome people to talk to us about becoming our user research partners for the platform. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much for that, Elaine, and telling us all about that. I really learned something, especially about the people. The circle thing was I was like, whoa, yeah. I mean, I knew it, but visualizing it, yeah, really interesting. We're ready to get into our sessions now, and today we're going to have them moderated by Xinyu Guo. So, hi Xinyu. She'll be on to do the moderation. She'll be fielding questions to the speakers, so please put your questions in the Q&A section. Everything else can go into the chat, and you can upvote people's questions so that, if you have the same question, just go ahead and go in there and click it and it'll go up. Yeah, so now we are ready to get into our first speaker of the day, which will be over in the other session. So we'll see you there, and we'll be getting the presentation on the importance of one from Lydia L. Thanks.